If you're over the age of 60, there is a very good chance you are doing something right before bed tonight, something that feels completely harmless, something millions of Americans do every single night without a second thought, that may actually be putting a quiet, repeated strain on your heart. And the most frustrating part is that almost nobody talks about this clearly. Today, I want to sit down with you and explain exactly what this habit is, why it affects your heart the way it does, and what you can do instead, starting tonight. So please, stay with me, because this conversation could genuinely protect your heart for years to come. Let me ask you something honestly. After dinner, do you find yourself eating a second, heavier meal late in the evening, maybe a big bowl of ice cream, a heavy snack, or even a full second plate of food, all within an hour or two of going to bed? And then, do you lie down on the couch or climb into bed almost right afterward, maybe scrolling on your phone, watching the news, or drifting off to sleep with that full, heavy feeling still sitting in your stomach? If that sounds familiar, please don't feel embarrassed, because this is one of the most common nighttime habits across America, especially among adults over 60. But this is very important, so I want you to really listen closely, because eating a heavy meal close to bedtime and then lying down soon after is quietly placing a repeated nightly strain on your heart that builds up over time, even though it feels completely harmless in the moment. Let me explain exactly why this happens, in the simplest way possible, because once you understand the mechanism behind it, this entire habit starts to make so much more sense. When you eat a meal, your body needs to direct a significant amount of blood flow toward your digestive system to help break down that food properly. Your heart has to work a little harder during this process, pumping blood toward your stomach and intestines rather than allowing your body to settle into a calm, restful state. Now, when you eat a smaller meal earlier in the evening, your body typically has plenty of time to finish most of that digestive work before you actually lie down to sleep. But when you eat a large, heavy meal right before bed and then lie down soon afterward, you're essentially asking your heart to keep working hard on digestion at the exact same time your body is supposed to be transitioning into deep rest and repair. But wait, there's more to this story. And this is where it becomes especially relevant for your heart specifically. Lying down soon after a large meal also makes it much easier for stomach acid and stomach contents to travel upward toward your esophagus and throat, something many people experience as heartburn or acid reflux. Now, here's something most people don't realize at all. That uncomfortable pressure and burning sensation isn't just unpleasant. It can actually mimic and sometimes even trigger symptoms that feel remarkably similar to heart-related discomfort, including chest tightness and pressure. Many people have ended up in emergency rooms in the middle of the night, frightened that they were having a heart attack, when the underlying cause was actually severe acid reflux triggered by eating a heavy meal too close to bedtime. While these situations often turn out not to be heart attacks, this overlap between digestive discomfort and heart-related symptoms is exactly why doctors take this connection so seriously, especially in adults over 60. This is very important, so I want to repeat this clearly. Late, heavy meals close to bedtime force your digestive system and your heart to work overtime during exactly the hours your body should be resting and repairing. And this repeated nightly strain, happening over months and years, is something cardiologists genuinely worry about, particularly for people who already have some risk factors for heart disease. Now let's talk about some of the quiet warning signs connected to this habit, signs that many people experience regularly without ever connecting them to their nighttime eating pattern. Do you often wake up in the middle of the night with a burning sensation in your chest or throat? Do you notice your heart beating a little faster or more noticeably than usual after a heavy late meal, almost like a fluttering or pounding sensation as you're trying to fall asleep? Do you wake up feeling unusually tired or groggy, even after what felt like a full night's sleep, with that heavy, sluggish feeling lingering well into the morning? Most people blame these experiences on stress, on getting older, or on simply having a restless night. But often, these are quiet signals connected directly to eating too much, too late, too close to lying down. Most people don't realize this, but there's actually research showing that eating close to bedtime is associated with higher blood pressure readings overnight, since your body isn't able to fully settle into that natural overnight dip in blood pressure that's supposed to happen during deep, restful sleep. Normally, your blood pressure should drop somewhat while you sleep, giving your heart and blood vessels a much-needed period of lower strain. But when your digestive system is still actively working because of a late, heavy meal, that natural nighttime dip doesn't happen as fully as it should, meaning your heart and blood vessels spend more hours under higher pressure than they're meant to. Let's talk about why this particular habit becomes so much more relevant after the age of 60 specifically. As we age, our digestive system naturally slows down somewhat, meaning food takes longer to move through our system compared to when we were younger. This means that same late, heavy meal that maybe didn't bother you much in your 30s or 40s can sit much longer in your stomach now, extending that period of digestive strain well into your sleeping hours. Additionally, the natural weakening of the muscle that's supposed to keep stomach acid from traveling upward, something that happens gradually with age, makes acid reflux and that uncomfortable nighttime burning sensation considerably more common in adults over 60 compared to younger adults. This is very important, so let's talk about the broader causes that often contribute to this habit in the first place, because understanding the why behind our behavior matters just as much as understanding the consequences. For many people, late-night eating is connected to daily eating patterns that started far too late, or were too light, earlier in the day. If breakfast is skipped and lunch is small and rushed, by the time evening arrives, genuine hunger builds up significantly, leading to a much larger dinner or late-night snacking simply because the body is truly, legitimately hungry by that point. Stress and emotional eating play a role here too, and I want to speak to this gently and honestly because this touches so many people in deeply personal ways. Evenings are often the quietest, most reflective part of the day, and for many people, especially those who may be living alone or feeling the weight of loneliness, food becomes a source of comfort during those quiet hours. There's nothing shameful about this at all, but understanding this emotional connection can help you recognize when you're eating from genuine hunger versus eating from a need for comfort or distraction. Television and screen habits matter here too. Many people have developed a routine of eating a snack or dessert specifically while watching television in the evening, and this habit becomes so automatic that it happens almost without conscious thought, regardless of actual hunger levels. And simply not having a consistent eating schedule throughout the day can contribute significantly to this pattern, since irregular meal timing earlier in the day naturally pushes more eating and more substantial eating into the evening hours. Now let's talk about some simple, gentle, general awareness-based adjustments that may genuinely help. Always remembering that any specific dietary changes, especially if you're managing existing heart conditions or other health concerns, should be discussed with your own doctor. Creating more space between your last meal and bedtime can make a meaningful difference. Many doctors and researchers suggest aiming to finish eating at least 2 to 3 hours before lying down, giving your digestive system meaningful time to complete most of its work while you're still upright and active, rather than asking it to continue working while you're lying flat and trying to sleep. Being mindful of portion sizes in the evening, even with healthy foods, matters too. A large meal, even a nutritious one, still requires significant digestive effort. So keeping evening meals lighter and more modest compared to earlier meals in the day can ease some of that nighttime strain. If you do feel genuinely hungry close to bedtime, choosing something light like a small handful of nuts, a few slices of cucumber, or a small portion of yogurt tends to be much gentler on your digestive system overnight compared to a heavy, rich snack or dessert. Elevating the head of your bed slightly, even just a few inches, using a wedge pillow or adjustable bed frame, can help gravity work in your favor, making it harder for stomach acid to travel upward while you're lying down, especially helpful for anyone who notices nighttime heartburn or chest discomfort regularly. Paying attention to your eating schedule throughout the entire day, rather than just focusing on the evening, can help tremendously. Eating regular, balanced meals earlier in the day naturally reduces that intense hunger that often drives heavy late-night eating in the first place. And finding gentle, non-food ways to unwind in the evening, whether that's a short walk after dinner, a calming cup of herbal tea, quiet conversation with a loved one, prayer, or simply sitting peacefully for a few minutes, can help address that emotional comfort-seeking many people experience during quiet evening hours, without placing additional strain on your digestive system and your heart right before sleep. Let's talk now about why all of this truly matters, beyond just feeling a little uncomfortable after a late meal. This is very important, so please really sit with this for a moment. The repeated nightly strain on your heart and digestive system from this habit, happening night after night, month after month, year after year, contributes to a pattern that researchers connect to higher blood pressure, increased acid reflux complications, and added cardiovascular strain over time, particularly in adults who already carry other risk factors like existing heart conditions, high blood pressure, or being overweight. These aren't just minor inconveniences, this is your heart, working overtime, night after night, during hours when it should genuinely be getting its most important rest and repair. I share this with you not to frighten you, but because I genuinely care about your heart having the rest and recovery it deserves every single night. Your heart works tirelessly for you every moment of every day, beating roughly 100,000 times in just 24 hours. It deserves the chance to truly rest overnight, rather than continuing to work hard on digestion during hours meant for deep restoration. So let's bring everything together now, nice and simply, the way we've been talking this whole time. Eating a heavy meal close to bedtime and then lying down soon afterward forces your heart and digestive system to keep working hard during exactly the hours your body should be resting and repairing, which can contribute to acid reflux, disrupted overnight blood pressure patterns, and added cardiovascular strain over time, especially as we move into our 60s and beyond. Creating more space between your last meal and bedtime, keeping evening meals lighter, choosing gentle snacks if you're genuinely hungry, and finding non-food ways to unwind in the evening can all help ease this nightly strain and give your heart the genuine rest it deserves. And if you regularly experience nighttime heartburn, chest discomfort, or unusual heart sensations, please don't hesitate to discuss this with your doctor, since your own personal health picture deserves real, individualized attention. Before we close today, I want you to know something important. The fact that you watched this entire video, that you took the time to understand something as simple as your evening eating habits and how deeply they connect to your heart's well-being, says so much about who you are. You are someone who cares about your own health, someone who still has so much life to live, so many peaceful nights of rest ahead, so many mornings to wake up feeling truly refreshed rather than heavy and groggy. It is never too late to gently shift this habit, and even small adjustments made consistently can genuinely ease the nightly burden on your heart. Please be patient and gentle with yourself as you make these changes. This isn't about perfection or never enjoying an evening treat again. It's simply about awareness and giving your heart the rest it has quietly been asking for, night after night, for years. If you found this helpful today, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more simple health awareness videos every day. We are so grateful to have you here with us, and we will keep bringing you honest, caring health information you can use in your everyday life. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I will see you in the next video.